Hey guys, this week we're going to be meeting with Viking and we are going to be talking about their wonderful ocean going vessels that they have, their Mediterranean cruises. We're going to be talking about the world cruise, and we're going to be talking on what on earth happens when the rivers are too swollen for ships. There's just too much water or there's not enough. So we're going to be covering so much great content. Let's just hop right over there now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cruise Chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel. And as you can see, today I'm meeting with Kim, and Kim is from Viking Cruises. I have had the absolute honor of meeting with Kim several other times, and her predecessor, whose also name was Kim, interestingly enough. So there's definitely a playlist, and go back and look at those after you've had a chance to listen to what we're going to be talking about, because there's some really good content there. But do stay around because we're going to be discussing some really neat stuff that's just on the horizon. So let's get started.
Great. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you for inviting me. It's always such a pleasure to chat with you. There's lots of things going on about here at Viking, so I'm looking forward to sharing some of those things with you.
Awesome. And I love talking about cruising. So we could probably be here for a good hour, hour and a half, but I know we're going to try and keep it a bit shorter. Cruising is my thing. It's just so much fun just to sit and talk to somebody who has sort of the same like-mindedness, right?
Yeah,
About
exactly.
And that's why I love to do the group cruises I do as well, because then you're with people that, you kind of meet at the cocktail party or just together and you kind of have that like-mindedness and it's so much fun cruising.
Yeah, so true. So true. We love to travel and we love to cruise.
Yes, absolutely.
Cruising is such a great way to see the world for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Goodness. And me personally, I love small ship cruising. I'm not, personally, I know that there's a market for it and I know my clients do like some of the mega ships. There is a lot of great amenities, but I just love the small intimacy of the ships. So I know
Yeah,
that you
so
guys, yeah, you guys have ocean going. What size is those ones? How many
well,
passengers?
yeah, the ocean are small ship sailing. So we have 900 guests on board. So we are considered small ship. But I
Yeah.
think post-pandemic, we saw a move to taking the small ships. And the nice thing about the small ships is that it takes you into little destinations that you can't get into otherwise. And then once you're in those little destinations, then no one else is around you. So it's a beautiful way to see the world. Actually, it's funny that you said that because Viking really started out as a river cruise company
Mhm.
almost 27 years ago now. And this year we will welcome our 10th ocean ship. So
Oh my
the
goodness.
beautiful brand. We are in the luxury category, so it's a great way to see the world.
For sure. Yeah. And you have expedition ships as well. And
We
they do
do. We have two
greatly to the
beautiful
crew, right?
expedition ships. They are 378 guests, so they would also be very small ship sailing. Of course, taking you into those pristine areas of the world that not everyone can get to, or not many of us have visited. Less than 1% of the population has ever been to Antarctica.
Right.
So we can take you into Antarctica, and actually we take you also. We have a sailing on our expedition on the Great Lakes, both in Canada and the U.S. So that's interesting. And
Right.
then we also do the high Canadian Arctic, and also when the ship is repositioning from Antarctica to Toronto, it takes you through South America. So there's really interesting segments there, Chile and Patagonia,
Mm.
so those are really interesting sailing segments as well. And then we also have a ship on the Mississippi, so a little closer to home. So we've got
Nice.
ocean, river, Mississippi expedition.
Oh,
Lots of
amazing.
places to take everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a lot more diverse. Like I know a lot of your marketing and the commercials and the TV are really skewed to the river. And I think it's important to know that, you're all over the world. It's quite incredible. So that's amazing.
We are all over the world, and I
Yeah.
love the logo is that where you're seeing the world in comfort from the
Yeah.
beautiful one of our beautiful ships.
Absolutely. Yes. Now, hey guys, I'm just going to interrupt really quick right now, just for a quick second. I just wanted to say if you've just recently come back from a cruise and you would like to meet with me and to be on my show, send me an email. info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. I'd love to hear your reviews of the cruise that you just went on. And I would love to sit and talk with you. If you're a little bit camera shy and you'd rather not, and you're just aren't that comfortable to be able to come on camera. Listen, I get it. It took me a long time to be comfortable to the camera, to be able to do my vlogs and to talk. I'm got a ton of episodes, so I'm more comfortable now, but I totally understand how you might not be. If you'd rather not meet with me on camera, I can send you a list of some questions which you can answer, and I'll just turn it into a blog post. It's not a problem. So I hope you guys reach out to me because I'm really interested in getting your personal reviews and having all of you guys as a guest on my show. So we're just going to head back to our episode. But before you do that, the email address to reach out to me is info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. And I'm just going to hop back aboard on our episode in progress. So let's go. Now, I saw that the World Cruise had just come out, or it's going to be launching soon. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
World Cruise is a beautiful way, of course, to see the world. If you do a couple cruises a year, you may want to consider doing a world cruise. We've got some that are around 130 days, 121 days, and also the full world cruise of 180 days. And so this year, so we just launched our 2026 world cruise, actually came out this weekend.
Wow.
So it departs on December 19th of 2025. That one is 138 days. That one will take you from Fort Lauderdale to London. And then we also have one on January 5th, 2026. That one is going from LA to London. So the wonderful thing about a world cruise is that you're, of course, seeing the world. There's a saying amongst us here at Viking that you get on with 900 strangers and you leave with 900 friends because we're small ship sailing.
Yeah.
Just have an intimate ship and you get to know everyone. The last world cruise, one of the guests, they formed a choir on board. They've got all sorts of beautiful activities. You get a free excursion in every port of call. So there's lots to see. But this year is a little bit interesting because the itinerary that's been released is diverting the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. Right. So it's taking you around Africa. So it's providing some really interesting segments in Africa and other places in the world, the Seychelles, the Maldives. So it's a really beautiful chance to see the world, all those bucket list items we've always wanted to see. And so, of course, no cooking, no cleaning for for those durations.
I don't know how you'd go back to cooking for yourself after.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's hard after a week or two in luxury and in comfort. You're just like, oh, I need my maid to come in and, replenish the towels. After 136 days, I think you said, there's no way that I'd be ready to do laundry. That would
exactly. And, a lot of people have always dreamt or thought about doing a world cruise and they push it off. They usually say one day or in the next 5 years. And sometimes that doesn't always happen. Circumstances change in life. So if you've always dreamt about a world cruise, please don't wait. Well, we have this beautiful itinerary and there's lots of savings, including business class air. As I mentioned, you get an excursion in every port, as well as you're well looked after from the beautiful ship. So absolutely. Yeah, so I wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree about not waiting. I mean, when I went over to Europe on my river cruise, I wanted to have my father there because he was born in Austria, and I thought it would be great to have that. But my mother's dealing with breast cancer, and my father has his own health issues, so we kind of missed that time, that window of opportunity. And I think you never know what life's going to throw at you, and not to be a Debbie Downer, but take those adventures now and to go and see what you want to see for sure.
I agree, 100%.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not just because I'm into travel, but that's truly how I feel. You just don't know what's going to be thrown at you. And I think getting out there and seeing everything that you've got on your list and making those check marks is definitely a thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I agree.
Amazing. Yes. And then you've got a trip coming up, I think, yourself, though, don't you?
Yeah, I do. We have introduced what we call quiet season Mediterranean sailing. So what that means is that we're going in the fall. We're going straight through the fall. We're also going into the early spring. And so that gives you we've got some really interesting itineraries. I'll share mine with you. But what that does is that it gives you the opportunity to visit those beautiful places on the Mediterranean during the quiet season sailing time. You don't have the crowds. You don't have the heat. I was in Europe this summer. Boy, was it hot. So I'm really excited about my cruise that I have coming up. I'm leaving December 16th.
Oh,
And I chose this itinerary because I've never done any of the stops before. So we call this itinerary Ancient Mediterranean Treasures. So this sailing starts from Athens. So I'm going to fly into Athens a little bit early. We
yes.
spend a couple days in Athens. It goes to Crete. So I've
Hmm.
never been to Crete before, so I'm looking forward to that. It goes to Rhodes. It goes to Ephesus. It goes to Troy.
Okay.
So you're seeing all those incredible places, and really the focus is on the treasures, the ancient treasures of those areas.
Hmm.
And then we end in Istanbul. I've never been to Istanbul. Many people have told me it's their favorite city that they've
Yes.
ever visited. So I'm really excited to see that. And one of the things I love about this itinerary is that you spend 2 days in Athens in the beginning, so there's lots to see there.
Hmm.
And then you're spending 2 days in Turkey at the end. And of course, all of the excursions are included, as well as all your meals and so on. So
Hmm.
um, I'm really looking forward to learning about the region. I did a little fact check on what the weather might be like during that time. So it's between 50 and 60, which is really
Oh,
a totally comfortable to explore
yes.
during that time. And then so we've got some other itineraries as well. I think in the early spring, there's lots of different Mediterranean itineraries too that your clients might want to have a look at.
For
But
sure.
it's a beautiful time of year to see the Med. So and a little bit more affordable to be going at that time
Hmm.
as well. So there's some great specials. So please have a look at that. And
Yeah.
oh, next time we chat, I'll be sharing with you my adventures.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Yeah, that's great. I really do think those shoulder seasons are perfect, not just for the weather, but low crowds, because that's when the locals sort of come back out because they don't want to be messing in with all the tourists. There's just too many people there. But then you find, September, October, November kind of thing, not really so much
Yeah.
September, but October and onward, it's just more locals. And you get not the, I don't know the right way to phrase it, like not the total touristy, but the more of a feel for the area. And you
Mhm.
just get to see and get pictures of those things that you want to see without all the people in front of you or behind you as well. So that's
So
always a
true.
plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always
We
good.
have all local guides from those areas as well. So when we're out exploring, maybe doing a city tour, seeing some of the history, it's a local guide with us. So I'm looking forward to learning lots of different things.
Ah, amazing. Yeah. I really like the relationships that Viking has because they've been there so long. So many years in the business, and they have those relationships with the good guides that are going to be there and just share the local feeling too. So that's really great.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. That's awesome. Wow. So that's awesome. So you said that there's a little spring sale that's coming up then.
Yes, we do have a spring sale, which I wanted to share with you. Starting in January all the way through to March. So we're seeing some great pricing. I've got a few different itineraries I wanted to share with you.
Yeah.
One of them is the tulips and windmills. So you'd be seeing
Okay.
this one is Amsterdam to Amsterdam. So you'd be
Okay. So
seeing
that's
all the
river then.
beautiful,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, all the
Yeah.
beautiful spring flowers, and what a
Oh, I
great time and
know.
what a great group opportunity as well. So maybe getting a group of friends or traveling as a group to visit the region at that time. So that one is including reduced airfare. You've got the free beverage package, and that one is around 39.99 Canadian. So it representing great value. Again, January through March is a great time to be going to Europe.
Yes.
We've also got Budapest to Passau on the Danube Waltz. That's
Hmm.
another very popular itinerary. That one is 34.99. So again, great savings, a beautiful time to be seeing Europe. And then some interesting ones. We've got a 10-day tour of both the Rhine and the Danube. We
Hmm.
normally during the summer months we just do an 8-day, but this is a little bit longer duration. And this one is also on sale for 33.99, but this one is including the air, both to the Rhine and the Danube. So I think I mean, that is such good pricing that you're
Yeah.
not going to see traveling further on into the summer.
I
So I
agree,
really
especially
wanted you
starting
to
from
know.
there. Hmm.
So hopefully your guests can take advantage of booking that through you. Um, I went to France this year. I wanted to share that with you as well.
Yes.
But I went in August, so
Mhm. So you were a little
it
toasty.
was. I went to Bordeaux and did the wine region there. It was very beautiful. I really love the wine. I love the history of France, and
Yes.
of course, a river cruise is such a beautiful way to see it.
Hmm.
But we docked right in Bordeaux, and then got to see some beautiful little towns such as Saint-Emilion, Cadillac, gliding along the river. It's all beautiful scenery. So it's the beautiful vineyards, it's the beautiful chateaus. Our prime docking locations we have because we've been on the river for 27 years in Europe. So every little place that we went into, we were docked right in the middle of the town. You can get out and explore. I did some beautiful excursions in and around wine. So I really had a nice time. I found it quite hot being there at that time. So I think when I go back again, I might be maybe choosing a June or maybe a fall departure. But
Yep.
anyway, I still had the most amazing time. So I did
Yeah.
2 trips to France this year.
Oh, what a hard
The
one.
other one was
That's
the Avignon to
amazing.
Lyon on the
Yeah.
Rhone. Again, such a beautiful area to see so much history, culture, Roman influence, even. Did a lot of wine tasting.
Mm.
And really, a fun fact about the Rhone is that we don't see much water fluctuation on the Rhone. It stays steady,
Yeah.
pretty much constant throughout the year. So that was a beautiful trip. So I've done 2 France trips this year.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, that's great. I believe one of the other times we met, we talked about one of your trips and it was your
Yes, yeah,
culinary
we talked
adventure, and
about
that's really good. I mean,
my
everybody likes food, right? So it's
food
nice
and
to
wine.
yes, food and wine. It's great. And I love how, like you said, you've got those prime docking locations too. And I think, history was made by the river and everything kind of flows out from there. So it's nice that you can stop right in the city center and be able to just walk to where you want to go and to get there. And that's a great
I
thing
always say that river cruising takes you through the heart of each of the destinations.
for sure.
And Viking is lucky because of our prime docking locations. In Paris, for example, we're a 10-minute walk to the Eiffel Tower. You can see the Eiffel Tower from
Yes.
the ship if you're dining on the Aquavit Terrace, having lunch and a glass of wine. You can be looking at the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So I do love that about river cruising, that it's taking you right through the heart.
Yes, I completely agree. Yes. And you were talking about the water fluctuations. And right now, with everything going on the Danube River, how could we assure our guests that they would still be taken care of with the river the way that it currently is, whether it's
Uh,
drought or too high? What do you do in those instances?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've seen sort of unprecedented high water just due to the rain that they're having in Europe. So high and low waters are unpredictable. We don't really know when they're going to happen, if they're ever going to happen. Pretty, I would have to say they don't happen very often. As I mentioned, the Rhone is steady and constant. So if that's a worry for you, but one of
Mhm.
the beautiful things about Viking is that we have approximately 80 ships on the rivers in Europe with about 37 different itineraries. But the interesting thing about our ships is that they're all identical. So
Mhm.
if we happen to be in a high water situation, ideally what we would be doing is you'd be packing for the day, you'd go out and enjoy your excursion, we would pick you up and then transfer you to another ship on a higher point or a lower point in the river, and you just carry on as a river cruise. So ideally through a lock. So that would be the advantage of traveling with Viking, is that we
Yeah.
have so many ships and they're identical. We call it a ship swap, so it's easy for us to do. So
Yeah.
ideally, that would be what we would be doing.
Yeah, so the people that you're swapping with end up coming back onto your ship that you've just left and getting the exact same stateroom, and then you move over to the exact same number on the other side. Is that what you do?
Well, we would have a ship waiting. We would have a ship waiting. We may have a ship that's just coming out of maybe a refurbishment or maybe a couple standing by. So we would have a ship waiting. If you're in cabin 1A, you're going to be moved back to cabin 1A,
Okay.
and then just carry along the river.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's such a good way to do it. It really puts your mind at ease knowing that you can still do your itinerary. It's not, too much of a worry because it's something that we always dream of, right? You want to go over to
Exactly.
see all those historic parts of Europe, and since you've got so many, you can just continue right on and no fuss, no muss. That's
So
amazing.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
How
great.
about you? Do you have any sailings coming up?
I do. Unfortunately, they're all river. I mean, for me, they're all ocean. I've only done one river so far, and I did that last summer. So not too many on river, but I do have some coming up. I'm going to be going to the French Polynesian coming up, the next one
Oh,
in
beautiful.
March. So that will be really
Beautiful.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
so nice. We do have a departure that leaves from Los Angeles, and it will take you through the Hawaiian Islands, and then over into French Polynesia,
Yeah.
and then over to New Zealand, and then ending in Sydney. So
Oh, that one
that's a
sounds even
beautiful.
better. Yeah. Yeah. Mine's only a 7 day. So
Yeah, yeah,
so long on a flight. Like it's with connections, I'm looking at about 30 hours by the time we're done.
yeah.
So the thought of leaving from Los Angeles, which is only, 6, I think, from where I am, that sounds much, much more nice, much nicer, much more nicer. There's a word, much
That's so
nicer.
true. So
Yeah. And to
true.
see Hawaii as well. That's always been on my list to absolutely go.
Yes, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
The other interesting itinerary we have on ocean is the circumnavigation of Australia. So I think many Canadians we love to visit Australia, but it's as you said, it's hard to see. It's a long flight, first of all, and it's hard to
Mhm.
see a lot of Australia just because it's a large landmass. So
True.
that itinerary, it's a 32-day itinerary, and it completely circumnavigates Australia, and then it stops in Bali as well. So
Oh.
that's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Uh,
oh, definitely. And by then you'll be over your jet lag, you'll be really comfortable. And I find it takes 2, 3 days to get out of that jet lag. And if it's only a 7 day cruise, you've only really got a few days where you're not sitting there yawning or you're just like, I'm up at 2 in the morning.
yeah.
But yeah, but to do that one for 30 days would be spectacular. My goodness.
Yes, yes. I love that one.
Yeah.
It's very popular and popular for Canadians. And I always recommend going in, especially when you're river cruising, at least go in at least 2 to 3 days early. We have some pre-cruise experiences. So I always recommend doing that one.
Yeah.
Um, you don't have the stress of worrying about your flights, and also that you acclimatize to the time change before you hop on the ship. So
Amazing.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Now you were saying for your world cruise, the flights are included. Is the one down to New Zealand also included? Does it have flights that we could build in for our clients?
I believe that one also includes the air.
Oh, great. Yeah. It's nice when you can make a nice package, right? And then everything's taken care of. It's really like an all-inclusive experience and you don't need to worry about anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So do you have any other itineraries that are on your list of I will get there within the next couple of years or?
I wanted to explore the Mediterranean more, so different areas. We have so many
Yes.
different itineraries in the Med, so I'd
Yeah.
like to see as much as I can. The British Isles Explorer is also on my list, so that one is from Bergen to London or in the
Mhm.
opposite direction, and that one's stopping in some beautiful places in Dublin. Sorry, in Ireland, they stop in
Yeah.
Dublin.
Yes.
There's lots of different places they stop in Scotland, the Orkney Islands. And so that one is. I've also never been to Bergen before, so that one's also on my list.
Yeah.
And then we've got some beautiful Scandinavian itineraries. I haven't seen that much of Scandinavia, so I would really love to see that area as well. So
Oh, for sure. Yes.
all of those are on my list.
Yeah, Ireland's on mine, and I keep looking at those cruises and I want to book them, but I just can't because my daughter took a semester of college or university in Ireland. So I want to go with her. I think it would be unfair to go with just my husband and myself. So I'm looking for a time when I can coordinate to take her with me and kind of show me, where she stayed for those months and to do that.
Yeah, that's so true.
And she, honest to goodness, she wanted to go so badly. And then she started to get this little bit of a fear, like, I can't believe I'm going all the way to Ireland for school. What am I doing? And then did a little bit hesitant to go, but after about a week, she's like, Mom, I love it here. I don't want to come back. So absolutely, beautiful. Everything's green and lush. It rains a lot, but it rains for short times. The
Right.
weather is almost perfect. It's not hot, not cold when she was there. And she said the people were just the most friendly she's ever met. So
Oh,
definitely
wonderful.
go to
Yeah, I know
Ireland.
it's a
Yeah.
big, it's that itinerary in those areas are very popular for us Canadians to explore.
Yeah.
We have historians on board that
Oh,
sailing
beautiful.
as well, so they're going to be talking about the history, the culture. I met one of our historians on that sailing, And I asked him what he spoke about, and he spoke about espionage. He spoke about the British family.
Oh,
He spoke about really the immigration from the British Isles to
wow.
Canada and to North America, actually. So as you say, it's a beautiful place to visit. It's
Yeah.
popular for us. There's just so much to learn, and so we have historians on board that will.
Now, that would be something I would definitely go and sit through for a lot of it because that's
Yeah,
just fascinating to me. I love learning history, and that's incredible. In fact, I went
yeah,
to London in 22, I believe it was, just for a couple days before a cruise, and we kind of did all the royal things. And I kept saying, I feel so at home. I don't understand it. Like my body's saying I'm home, and I didn't get it. And then I was talking to my mom just the last couple of months about, where are your parents from? Where's that? And she goes, well, my grandparents came from London, England. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Well, that's why, because I didn't even
yeah,
know that, but it is in my ancestry. And then they came to Canada, and my grandfather was born in Canada, but back up a couple generations. And,
yeah.
that's where they're from. And I thought, that's really interesting
Mm.
that we knew. Like you could just sort of tell, like, oh, this is amazing. I love it here. And I just loved all the green spaces mixed in with the urban centers. And it's just amazing. And, traveling just really opens your eyes to new cultures and to new things. And I think it's something that everybody should get out there and should explore. And I mean, that's why you guys are watching this channel too, right? Because you love watching, learning about cruising. And I could think it's absolutely something that everybody needs to do and just to get out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful way to see the world.
Oh, for sure. 100%. Yes. So if there's anything else that I had missed, feel free to go talk about right now. Other than that, we'll just make sure it doesn't carry on too long and we'll say goodbye to all the guests. But
Sure. I just I think there's just so many beautiful choices for
oh, I
cruising
know.
out there. And so I'm just going to share with you a couple of the
Oh, please.
interesting things about Viking
Yes.
before we leave each other. But one of the things about Viking, of course, we talked about the small ships. We talk about it's an inclusive value, so everything is included. So the philosophy of the founders, no nickel and diming. So you're not going to get a bill at the end because you turned on your Wi-Fi. Everything is included, all of your
Oh, I know.
meals, beer and wine with lunch and dinner. No casinos on board a Viking ship. There's no children under the age of 18, so that is a little bit unique. And we have the most beautiful spa on the ships, on the ocean ships, and that is included also. So if you happen to have a sea day, so those are some of the things that make Viking unique. All of the cabins are veranda cabins, so there's no interior. There's no porthole views. So yeah, we hope we get to welcome you on board a Viking ship
Yes.
in 2025, or there's a few departures left in 2024,
Mhm.
mostly on river, but we look forward to welcoming you on a Viking ship.
Wonderful. And if anybody would like any more information in regards to any of the itineraries we talked about today, or just any of our general chit chat to expand upon that with Viking, you can always reach out to me, info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. And I personally will be the one getting back to you. You will always get me and you will always have my service there. So I'm happy that you guys are able to reach out to me. Make sure that you do that and we'll be able to get you guys on board.
Yeah, please make sure that you're booking your travel through Kathleen. It's no we would prefer if you booked directly through our wonderful travel partner. And please reach out to her if you have any questions or you'd like to make a booking. If you already have a Viking booking that you've done, Kathleen can take that over for you within 60 days of you making that booking. So reach out to her. She's a Viking expert. And
Absolutely.
I appreciate her inviting me today to speak with you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And I hope everybody has a great week. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about your bookings because I'm really excited just to follow along with you as well. It's so much fun doing all the planning stages and being able to hear about your journeys when you get back. So thank you guys for entrusting me with your travels. As I said, info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. But I will see you guys next week or on board. Bye, guys. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's cruise chat with Kim from Viking Cruises. It was a little bit of a different format than we typically do, but it's great to mix it up and to do it. And next time, we're going to be talking about her trip to the Mediterranean. So that's going to be so much fun too. So this week, we already saw, and I really love how they make sure that you're totally protected with the rivers of Europe, how they can get super high or super low. Right now, the Danube is totally flooding. It is devastational over there, and they are working around it, and they're finding a way to get that kind of so that you guys can still have your vacations, and yet the people there don't need to worry about tourists coming in when their homes and their livelihood are being flooded. So I love that they take care of the people in the area as well. That means a lot to me. And next week, I'm going to be meeting with Lindblad. And I thoroughly enjoy meeting with Kara from Lindblad. It is just so much fun to sit and talk about all the things that they have and what they do. And I'm just excited to be meeting with her. So it's going to be so much fun because I love expedition cruising. And I love that Viking has a couple of expedition ships as well. A lot of times with the branding and the commercials, we really only think that they have river, not ocean, and certainly not expedition. But to see that they have those two, and those are absolutely beautiful, beautiful ships. I met with Kim, the original Kim, not the new Kim, in regards to talking about their expedition ship that they have. So I'm going to link that down below so that you guys can see that as well. And if you're listening to this on our Cruising the Waves podcast, I'll put it in the description as well so that you can see that video that I'm talking about where they went over what their expedition ships have. And it's pretty phenomenal. It's great. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next week or on board. Bye, guys.